All right, folk, we're back again with another different kind of video. Okay, I'm getting a little different with my video ideas and stuff like that. But I've been noticing with my trading style, I've been getting a bit sloppy with my entries, but they've been working, and I'm using them in a way of still using ICT, but going out of the lines of precision. In which I'm going to show you that in just a moment. In which we're calling this video highly advanced entry mechanisms for a reason. Okay, for a reason because it requires a lot of trust to get these kind of entries, or just really to execute these kind of entries. So these entries are going to be reaction of an array, meaning, okay, let's say, let's go to the chart real quick, okay? Let's say, oh, what the heck? That was weird. I don't know why I was just doing that, but let's say we see, I don't know, this order block right here get touched, okay? We see it get touched. That does not mean you short immediately. Just because you see it reach up into it and it's in a bearish order block doesn't mean you short, okay? The algorithm still has to tip his hand to you and say, do I want to respect this or disrespect this? So you can get in that short and it can just blow past that order block. No. That's matter of fact, that's not even how I usually enter anymore. I look for the actual reaction off of the order block. You're probably like, well, won't your stop loss be bigger? Won't your stop loss be bigger? Well, yeah, obviously that's why there's trailing stops and break evens. I personally don't do break evens, but majority of the time I don't even have to use a stop loss or use break evens because I'm entering off of the actual displacement away, in which when it displaces, there's almost no drawdown. Not saying that, oh, I do no drawdown, I top tick, bottom tick. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I'm just saying if you are entering like this without just, entering right when it reaches an array and entering right at the bottom of it, with like ICT does, which is not really that good, I'm not gonna lie to you. In which if you enter off of the displacement and the reaction away from it, there's a higher chance that you're gonna actually, get in the trade and immediately be into profit and then almost immediately hit take profit. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the failure of a signature. Now the failure of a signature can be let's see, it could be an external range demarker. It could be an immediate rebalance. It could be the creation of an inversion fair value gap. Like failure of that, when you see that failure, and then you see the displacement away from that failure. Like let's say, okay, we got. Let me find an immediate rebalance because the immediate rebalance is what I mainly talk about when it comes to that, the failure of a signature. So let me show you if I can even find a failed. There it is, right there. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So you see this bullish immediate rebalance right here? We got the first candle, second candle, third candle. Third candle comes down, tries to go up. Then the next two candles say, ah, nah, freaky, we're going down. So when you see that failure, you can short off of that if you see it displacing lower, in which you start getting that displacement kind of sort of around here, or really off of just that first candle there. So once you see that displacement, you can automatically short and what target? I don't know, that low there. Well, obviously we're not going to be trading during London, so I'm just saying that's just an example. And then for the last thing is where's it at? Disrespect or displacement through an opposing array. Now, a perfect example of this is the day we're actually about to backtest on TradeAway right here. So let me go to the 13th of August. Where is that at? The 13th of, oh wait, I got to go all the way back. I'm tripping. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, this is one of the entries I took before. I'm tripping. Let me delete that. So, oh wait, yeah, it was on the 15-second. Never mind, that's stupid. But even still, the failure of a signature thing applies here. See that? See that failure of a signature? You get that displacement after this bearish immediate rebalance fails. And then, of course, you got the inversion fair value gap traders trading that right there. And even if you missed all that down here, even if you missed all of it, even if you did, you could still use the, would you even call that a propulsion block? I mean, it did respect it and drop lower. I don't know. It's very, very weird. But on the 15-second, there was a raise in here. I was definitely looking at some arrays in here. I just don't know which one it was. I think it was a mitigation block. But let's say this was an order block, right? Of course, it's not because it's a propulsion block because, this candle over here. But if this was an order block, right? And we see price, you miss all the entries down here and you see price come all the way back up and start displacing and breaking through that order block. Once it's like fully broken through it, or you see it just actively displacing through it, you can long off of that. You can actually long off of that. But isn't that dangerous, DJ? But isn't that dangerous? No, you're entering you're entering with the momentum of the market. Why would you think that? What? No, that doesn't even make any sense. Now, if you're longing, like let's say, I don't know, at the respect of at this inversion here, if you're just like, okay, I can't really explain it because I have no arrays here to base it off of, but let's say price came down into that not order block, but this inversion fair value gap, and you entered long as soon as it came down into it, you have no clue in the world if it's going to respect or disrespect that inversion. You have no clue, do you? Nope, not a clue in the world. So to prevent that, we enter off of displacement on almost every single entry we take. Understood? Understood, understood. Now, when we say displacement, we're automatically talking about respect, because in order for displacement to come, price has to, of course, respect the array or signature or whatever you're entering off of first. Super simple. It is that easy. Understood? Okay. All right. Just making sure. Now, I think we have one more to go over to reaction over an array, failure of signature, displacement / disrespect through an opposing array. Oh, that's the other one. I didn't put it on here, but the other one is, let's say on the 1 minute. Well, this is kind of sort of a horrible example, right? But I would say use this entry mechanism to add on to a current position. Okay. And that is, for example, let's say you already got your positions in down here, right? And you're hedging a little bit. Let's say you got one hedging here, and another one right there. Let's say you got 3 minis in, right? And you see it come down, retrace, respect the fair value gap, and you see it start displacing. When you see that displacement past that little swing high that it just created, that little miniature retracement, once you see it displacing past that retracement swing right there, that little, swing right there, and once you see it displace past that, you can add another one. You can hedge there, or you can add an entry. You can do that. Or if you really, 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 really want to be a risk taker, because I'm just using it on the, I'm teaching you this with the disclaimer of like, okay, obviously I can't teach them something that's going to blow all their money, because that's just, I'm not a financial advisor, but that would be stupid to teach you that. But if you do want to be a risk taker and you have enough trust in the market and trust in the displacement that is going to keep going, and you see those confluences that is going to keep going past that high, you can use that as an initial entry. Now, we're going to actually do this on this day, all those different entry mechanisms. We're going to do all four, or try to get all four, of course. So we're going to go back to Tradebait. We're going to maximize this. 150K, 13th, the speed 930. Bam. All right, now watch this. You ready? It'll, hurry up and load up. Jesus Christ. Okay, I think right off the rip, it's already manipulating. Yep, and there it is. Holy Jesus. Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is insane. Holy. Okay, I don't even know what this. You know what? Let me just go to back to TradingView to see when it actually starts expanding. It starts expanding at 9:32, 9:33. Okay, so we're gonna be ready for that. The time is. Let me maximize this. The time is right here, and it is right there. So if you want to pay attention to that, you can. We're gonna put the speed on 200. Wait for, what was it? What did it say again? 9:32. We're gonna wait for that to kick in. And then just looking on the 15-second, I mainly apply these entry mechanisms on the 15-second because the NQ moves extremely fast. We all know that. So that's why I mainly apply those entry mechanisms, because, of course, you want to get in on the time frame that has the movement and the displacement, which we are clearly seeing right now. Okay, so just pausing it real quick. You put on 200% first. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's not giving me 200%, but whatever. We do have a mitigation block here at the break of that swing. That would be a valid place to either get an entry or add another position or add another contract, whatever you want to say. And then I think, would that be a propulsion block? Oh, that looks kind of nasty. Well, yeah, that would be okay. Yeah, that would be a 15-second propulsion block too. So if we see disrespect between all these arrays here that are just sitting here, you could obviously long there. And then of course we have that inversion for everybody. You got all the TikTok LARPs are going to take. So we're not going to take that. All right. So let's go ahead and play it and let's see what we get. And no, we are not on 3 contracts. We are not doing that. Not doing that. Then we have the respect of this. What is that? Is that a order block? Yeah, that 30-minute order block here. So we do have this immediate rebalance here. If this begins to fail and it starts to, yeah, if it starts failing or doesn't, this is the failure of a signature. If it starts displacing through that fair value gap, then it's already failed because it's been more than 2 candles from the immediate rebalance section 2, and we're going to, if we see a bit more displacement, we're going to long right there. Boom. Now we're long. Oh, and there you heard order filled. I think you heard it at least because my speakers are like super loud. So we're in longs based off of the failure of this immediate rebalance here. And then, of course, you got that. Oh my God. And brother and fair value got right there. Oh my God. And then if you want, if we see displacement past that high in which we just seen it, that's the propulsion block and the mitigation right there. Let me turn off my crosshair. Right there at that high is the propulsion block and mitigation. once we see displacement past that, it's already broken it, but once we see displacement past that, we can either, well, no, we can add another one because we already got our initial entry in. So we've knocked out two. We've knocked out the failure of a signature, and then the second one we're about to knock out is the displacement through an opposing array, which is, if it'll give me the displacement, hold on, I'm waiting for it right now. Boom. So now we're in two minis. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So we're going to target, I think on this day I targeted the weekly volume imbalance. So we're going to go back to, is it this chart? I think, yeah, I think this one has all my drawings on it, though. I can just hide it real quick. So the volume imbalance, what is that? It is 3,200. Yeah, 3,200. That's what it was. Okay, so we're going to go back to Tradeovate, and oh wow, it is displacing. Look at that. It is displacing. So we're going to set our target going to the NQ. Oh wait, what is this? NQU. There we go. There we go. That makes more sense. We're going to go to the daily and set our target at, what was it? It was like 3,200 or something like that, right? Yeah, 3,200 right there. Sell limit of 2. Order working. You heard that. Now we're going to go back to the now 15 minute. 15 minutes is like my, nice balanced time frame. But look at this. Beautiful displacement, right? Absolutely beautiful. Oh wow, that is ridiculous. Holy. Jeez, this is how this price action looked before? That's crazy. I could have actually hedged or added another position off that meter rebalance here. But the two we've knocked out so far, on which we ain't got nothing else to do but watch it displace. So we've knocked out two entry mechanisms so far, which is the failure of a signature, okay? Displacement slash disrespect through an opposing array. We've done those two, so we can knock this one out the way. Bam. Then we can knock this one out the way. Bam. Now all we got to do is get another entry with the reaction of an array, okay? Reaction of an array. So if we can find that, let me go ahead and maximize it again. So we do got what the what's that? What is it called? I keep forgetting what it's called. Oh, it's right in my head. It's something entry drill. Oh yeah, institutional order flow entry drill. That's what it is. Okay. You see that came down, respected the equilibrium. So if we can see that respect or displacement higher, in which it's also forming on the 1 minute too with that fair value gap. So we could see it dig a little deeper because it's doing it on the 1 minute also. But if we see that displacement, we can add one more. We can add one more. And then we also have an immediate rebalance there. So this would be kind of sort of the same thing, the reaction off an array, but it's simply just a signature because we're waiting for the reaction of this immediate rebalance. So these next two 1 minute candles are going to be very, very important. This one right here, and then the next one afterward. We're looking for displacement within these next two candles. And if we see it, we're adding one more. Oh, and there's a displacement. Hold on. Waiting for it to displace past the high. Come on. You would visibly see the energy within the candle. You have to look for that energy and that willingness. It's almost there. There you go. See? Told you within those same two candles or the next two candles from that immediate rebalance, we need to see displacement in which it displaced. And then it also gave us the respect and reaction off of that institutional order flow entry drill. So we have officially done, guess what? Officially done all entry mechanisms. Pretty nice, right? So now that we got all our entries in or all our entry mechanisms in, I would have hedged way more, of course, because, I'm just kind of sort of like a risky guy when it comes to trading these type of conditions. I hedge in a lot. So if you want to look at our trade lines, I'll turn that on. Sure. Wait, let me turn it on for you. Price levels. No, not price levels, but fills and orders, trade lines. Ah, it doesn't show. It shows afterwards. That's stupid. That's pretty stupid. But we're going to leave this on 400% replay. And I'll be right back. And I'll, stop speeding it up once it hits take profit. But I'll be right back. All right, folks. We're, almost at take profit. A couple points away. This is the high of that volume imbalance that I was talking about, in which we are there right now. Nice. I wish you guys can hear the order field sound because it sounds amazing. But that is That's the trade. Want to see the performance center? Sure, I'll show you that also. There's that trailing stop. That's still there too. So 3K, 5K, 6.2, you get the point. We're up 15 grand with 3 minis. Almost the same amount I made on this day actually when I actually live traded it, which was 200. It was like I think I was in four minis actually, either or 4 or 5, and I'm pretty sure it was 4 minis and it was 21K, but close enough, right? Because I missed that one immediate rebalance entry on the where was it? Was it the 15 second? Let me go back. There was an immediate rebalance that I added into. Yeah, it was that one right here. It was right around here. It was that immediate rebalance right there. So that's when I got my fourth what's the word? No, that was my third hold on. Am I tripping? My third contract, and then my fourth contract was right here. So that's the beautiful trade line right there. As you can see, it's amazing per usual, which is how much is that? Like 400, no, 320 points, something like that. But yeah, beautiful trade, right? Absolutely beautiful. Now we might go over one more day in which we might go over August 3rd. It might take a little bit, but honestly, I probably don't even have to because I basically just taught you all the highly advanced entry mechanisms that I use, like literally all of them. We knocked them all out of the park, like literally all of them. So this video is basically over with. I can get this out of my banishment, but I could do another one. I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm kind of thinking about it. You know what? Nah, I taught you literally everything in that I needed to teach you in this video. It's very, very fast. I do know that very, very fast. So you might need to watch this a couple times. But just to explain one more time, there's three primary entry mechanisms I use other than just getting those precision ICT classic type of entries. Okay. One is the reaction slash displacement off of an array. Second is the disrespect and displacement through an opposing array. And then what was the other one? Oh, the failure of a signature, okay? In which it can be an immediate rebalance, the creation of an inversion fair value gap, or anything that's just not your typical entry but can still be entered off of would be a signature. So when you see that failure of a signature, according to however that signature is supposed to fail, you can use that as an entry mechanism. So those are the three entry mechanisms that I use, in which we use all three today, which led to us using 3 contracts. Want to see? Number of trades, number of winning trades, 3. Number of winning contracts, 3. So 1 contract for each of those entry mechanisms. This is the end of this video. From my side, I've been recording for 25 minutes because, I had to wait through all the price action of it actually going up. But if you want to full screen it and take a screenshot or just adore that beautiful trade line, you can. Looks absolutely amazing. But anyway, this is the end of the video. Highly advanced entry mechanisms. And I hope I see you in the next one. Good luck and good trading.